All right, let's move on to our fun segment here. So, we are going to be snake drafting league pass teams.
Oh, ho, ho, ho.
And the way that I was thinking about this is that you could pick your teams based on who you like love to watch. I'm
Yeah, yeah,
definitely going to have some
sure,
hate watches in here
okay,
because I the team like so these are going to be the teams that I watch the most, and it's not always like for
sure,
my enjoyment.
okay,
So for example, when the Nuggets are in the race for the 1 seed, I'm watching a ton of Thunder and Wolves games, just like hoping they drop 1 here or there. Although those teams are also fun to watch at times, and sometimes they play teams that I hate even more, and I'm actually rooting for them.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, so do you want to go first or second? I don't think it matters actually with the snake draft, but the number 1 overall pick is going to be,
That's a heated one.
is a
Go
heated one.
first, go
You want me to
first,
go first?
go first. I'm a gracious guest.
Okay, I'm gonna go with the Nuggets for my first team for sure.
Can you do that? This is a
Yes, I let you go first.
oh my god. Alright, I'll say the Thunder because I am massively intrigued by, their season, how they play, but, just, like, they're really I wanna know how the Hartenstein minutes kinda look,
Yeah,
what
they're
that
gonna be a
does.
beast defensively,
They're
that
gonna be
team.
pretty good defensively, but they don't have the 5 out stuff as much. They could do that. They can always split those Chet and, Hartenstein. They can play more ways, and then Caruso is such a good get for them. I'm so mad about that.
Alright, so you get the
Yeah.
next pick as well.
God, I have a couple, like, really intrigued ones that I just wanna see how it looks. But is that a league pass team? Like, there's a
Or,
couple
like,
teams where I'm
it's
like,
gonna
I
be the
will
team
watch
that
it.
you watch the most on League Pass, so
See, that's the thing. I have a bunch of teams that I wanna watch because I wanna know how it looks, but I'm also like, I
mm,
might not wanna watch it ever
like,
again.
at volume, it's just, like, morbid curiosity.
Like, the Kings really intrigue me, but I don't know what I'd think of watching the Kings, although I love watching DeMar. I'll go, I love watching Indiana.
Okay. The Pacers, that's a good one,
Yeah.
especially because they were one of the best league pass teams last year, especially because of how well their opponents also did against them. Ooh, this is tough. So I actually like your idea with the Kings,
Mm. Yeah, they're
especially
intriguing.
because I have some morbid curiosity about DeMar's fit with them. But I'm gonna go with I gotta go with the Warriors. I live in the Bay.
Oh,
And they like those games are just always fun, especially the games against the Kings, frankly. You just
yeah,
never know if it's going to be one of those games. Like you might have a game where they go on like a 20-2 run and it's the same game that they're like losing in the clutch.
right.
Unfortunately for them. Will is happy about that though. My next pick is going to be my Orlando Magic, my hometown children, and they're finally good again. So
Right.
and now KCP is gonna be there, and maybe they'll have some better shooting, monitoring Franz and Paolo's progress.
I'm tempted by the Kings with this pick. I'm tempted. This is where, like, the Kings, I'm really intrigued by, like, the Pelicans, I'm really not intrigued, like, I really don't wanna
That's
watch that
right.
team, but
I
they made a big move.
agree.
I just alright. We'll go the Grizzlies.
Oh, is that out of curiosity, or is there something, like, really fun about how they play?
Curiosity. I
Okay.
wanna see how Edey looks. I'm just I also think they're gonna be good. So I know I'm monitoring, other teams that are gonna be at the top of the West. That's usually what I think I'll be looking at. And Jaw's really fun. Jaw's, like, super fun, and we just haven't seen him in a year, so
Yeah.
I love fun guards like that. I wouldn't pick them, but, like, the Hornets, because I really like watching LaMelo. Weird
So
one.
you're not picking the Hornets, though?
I'm not picking them. I'm not
Okay.
picking them. I I don't know, I really struggle with teams if they're like if it's like, "All right, this is pretty below 500," that I don't know if I can put in there. I wanna get, like, playoff teams in here. The Knicks.
They're gonna be so interesting this year. I'm very
Yeah,
curious. And you know they're gonna be good and, like, Jalen Brunson is so tough, man.
I love watching Brunson. I am fascinated by the Knicks. Fascinated. They're just God, I almost wish I'd picked them higher, but I'll leave it there. I should have
Okay.
picked them higher. They might have been like my second pick now that I'm saying it out loud. That's all
I
right. I'm gonna leave
definitely
it.
would have picked them next if you hadn't taken them.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with this is just a fact of my level of disdain for the Phoenix Suns is that they are this high on my league pass list. I watch them so often in hopes that they'll lose. I even watch them in preseason in hopes that they'll lose. But no, I mean,
That's
they're
funny.
another Western Conference rival. I think that they're going to be pretty good next year, probably be a top six team and make the playoffs outright. I'm curious about the fit with Tyus Jones and all that too.
Mhm.
Maybe Bradley Beal will be healthier this year, and we'll get to see them probably play more coherent basketball than they played last year, frankly, just by virtue of having, they finished the season and Matt Ishbia said they don't need another point guard because they don't want to take the ball out of Katie or Booker's hands. And then they signed 3 point guards this summer to add to the roster.
Fascinating.
So they didn't like being 25th in turnover rate either. Last one.
Oh, I think
You
I have my
already took the Thunder. Like, I watch a lot of the Western Conference rivals just to see, like,
sure.
this is one I don't really love, like, how they play, but I have a feeling I'll be watching a lot of them this year. I think I have to go with the Mavs, because
That
they're
was
gonna they're
close.
gonna
Yep.
they're gonna take the place of OKC, and that the I'm like, I just need to see how many games this team is winning and, like, find their weaknesses.
They are a weird, weird team, and I don't know how it's gonna look. One of Kyrie, Luca, Clay is gonna be a POA guy, so I don't know how that's gonna
Until
work.
they figure out that they can't
They
start Clay Thompson anymore.
No, the second they figure out that Najee Marshall is a starter,
Yeah,
I think that's where the season flips.
yeah.
So, they'll be good though. I so it's funny, like, I've thought a lot about, like, teams that would suck to play in the playoffs, and Dallas is one of them because I just think they're gonna get a lot of threes with Clay up. Kyrie teams never take a lot of threes, which is kinda odd, but he's a good
They
shooter.
took a good number of threes though, like, last year, because Luka teams get a lot of
Right.
threes, so it's
They
kind
do.
of like
They do.
there's some tension there.
And yes, yeah, but they're a math team. Like, they're like a team you get in a playoff series with, and they just hit a ton of threes, and you just, like, making up the ground mathematically is really hard because of the
Yeah,
sheer number of threes. I think I would expect them to be like a top 5 team with terms of where were they last year? Let's take a
in
look. This is
three-point rate, they were pretty high. Them and the Celtics were the 2 of the top 10 offenses that were high in three-point rate.
so yeah, they were second. Okay, so they already take a lot, so they'll take even more. They might lead the NBA in threes,
Yeah, they were
attempted.
2nd in three-point rate last year after the
They're a math
Celtics.
team. So I I I hate that's a team I wouldn't wanna see in a playoff series because of the math issue, but watching in the regular season, I don't know, I don't feel like I'm gonna watch that very much. So my last pick, it's a weirdo one, but kinda weird. I think I wanna watch the Rockets.
Oh,
They could
I
they
was
could
thinking
win,
about
like, 28 games,
yeah.
they could win, like, 46, like, I have no idea. I love watching Şengün. Interesting players there, like Shepherd, I'm curious to see what that looks like. There's a lot going on, and I'm curious to see how it settles in, but I
Especially
could see them
because
being
they're
really
good
good.
enough that, like, at any point, they could make a move, and it could impact a rival team
Yeah,
or make them better, like, I don't know what they're gonna
and
do.
they didn't extend either one of their young guys, so
So, I didn't think that they would, but then there were reports coming out that they're in talks with Şengün, and Şengün really wants to extend, or his people do, and why wouldn't you,
no.
right? Like, you wanna get that on the books. But I don't think that I didn't think that the Rockets had any intention of extending both of them because they want to be a big old cap space team
Mhm.
next summer. So similar to the
Okay.
situation that the Sixers had, where Tyrese Maxey waited until the end of his
Yeah.
deal to extend and didn't even get a player option out of it. Like, I question. the decisions of some of these agents, but it allowed Philly a ton of flexibility with their cap space this offseason and made it possible they could sign all the free agents that they did. That's the situation Houston wants to be in next summer. And also, they probably don't want to extend Jalen Green at all. They want to keep their trade chips. So, but I do think that they're going to be an interesting team to watch. They were excellent at home last year. I keep pointing this out. They were a top 4 home team in the West, and I believe top 5 ish in the NBA, top 6 maybe in the NBA, and then
Yep.
abysmal on the road. So all the hallmarks of a good team that is very young. And maybe with another year of experience, another year with Ime, they're able to kind of close that gap a little bit and, give the other teams that are kind of in that play into playoffs outright range, even a little bit of a run for their money. We saw at the end of the season that it was really neck and neck between them and the Warriors to even
Hmm.
make the play in. But then they obviously burn out at the end of the season, and Şengün goes down with the injury as well. So that definitely affected things.
They got a lot of guys. Amen Thompson, Tari Eason, Cam Whitmore.
Yeah.
Like, just guys that are there. There's like so many guys that can play.
Yeah, but there are
So who
only
knows?
so many minutes, so
There are only so many minutes. They feel like a trade team too.
yeah.
There's a consolidation trade or something that I think will happen at some point in the year for them. So,
We haven't seen a lot of consolidation trades, this
well, it's
summer of, like,
hard.
teams with the I know, that's what I was
CBA,
gonna comment
yeah.
on is with the new CBA, I wonder what the timeline on those is gonna be, like, when teams and league GMs offices are going to figure out how to do these things
Yeah, yeah,
because,
yeah.
Indiana was a team that I think might be primed for a consolidation trade this summer, but probably next year because they're not really in any rush right now, given Hallie's timeline. But
But
if there's a way that they
Siakam,
want to,
yeah.
exactly, Siakam is
Mhm.
definitely getting up there, and you want to maximize the time that he has with the team as well. I'm curious to see if we're going to see any of those. Maybe that's how teams handle the trade deadline, but they got to figure out how to use their flexibility to get this stuff done. Anyway, thank you so much, Matt, for being on the
Problem.
show again and talking about the Abu Dhabi games. Would you like to shamelessly plug anything else for the people?
Yeah, I already had one. Yeah, you can follow me on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. Matt Brooks NBA. It's below here. There. Okay, there we go. So yeah, that's where you can see me tweeting out clips, everything of the sort during games. And then go to nuggets.com for anything I've written. And then yeah, we've been doing a little bit of video stuff. So subscribe to Nuggets YouTube. That's where I talked about those breakdowns that I've been doing a little bit for them. Those are over on their YouTube. And then I'll even do some TikTok breakdowns if you're like, I don't have an attention span for 8 minutes, but that sounds kind of cool. I also do 1 minute ones for Nuggets TikTok. So that's
Oh,
another
wow. I need to
another
follow Nuggets TikTok.
yeah. Yeah. I haven't known in a while. We'll get back to it though. I think once we get into the
Get some more
the real
games under their
games.
belt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, thanks again. And to the audience, please, if you are not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. We're really trying to grow the channel. Please remember to hit the like button. Also, hit the notification bell. And definitely subscribe to our clip channel at What's in a Game NBA Clips. And always remember that winning is fun and losing sucks.